Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back. Today I want to talk to you guys about Dark Dimension 2. So depending on where you're at this game, it's probably something you've completed a long time ago, or it's something you're still a little scared of doing. And with my team power, I'm probably getting to Dark Dimension 2 much later in my time with Marvel Strike Force than a lot of other people. Probably two big reasons for that. First off, as you can see, I played this game a lot before even Dark Dimension 2 existed. A lot of characters I leveled up are not that good, like Crossbone's level 70. I leveled him up in a different time when he was a really good character to have leveled up. My roster sort of where I have heavy investment is much different than the rosters that were out when Dark Dimension 2 was releasing, and you would have invested in much different characters. And I also built out much wider with my roster. I enjoy using a lot of different characters, which doesn't synergize well with Dark Dimension 2. Dark Dimension thrives on having a couple of characters really highly built up that are very specifically good at Dark Dimension. It doesn't really work as well with just, I like this character, so I'm going to build him up. But I enjoy getting to use a bunch of different characters, so that's why I do it. But today I'm going to look at Dark Dimension, show you guys who I'm bringing in, why I'm bringing them in, and maybe hearing some of my thoughts on it can help you go into Dark Dimension 2. Dark Dimension 3 I'm not even looking at. I mean, the rewards I think are nice, but it's such a painful thing. I'm going to wait for power creep to get a little more far ahead, and then I'll go into Dark Dimension 3. I hear it's so it's mostly like just sending out Phoenix for the day, having her use her percentage based attacks, and then going to sleep and doing it again the next day. Very painful stuff. Dark Dimension 2 I do want to complete though, because Ultron is available in here, and I very much do want Ultron because he can pretty much lead a full blitz team on his own. I guess this gold gear is nice, but really we're doing this for Ultron. So Dark Dimension 2 I hear is a lot more dependent on consistent DPS. Dark Dimension 3, a lot of just, you send out a couple big attacks each day, do it again the next day. Dark Dimension 2 is a lot of making sure your team can keep itself going. You sort of have energy feeders. As you can see with these teams, they have built Star-Lord, Thanos, and Groot. Very good about keeping the team going. A lot of energy coming out from those characters, a lot of defense up, some heals. Minerva's there for heals. And then really, a lot of these teams only have one or two DPS characters, like Ultron, you could consider DPS / support. Rocket Raccoon, he's a DPS character. But as you can see, there's not a ton of DPS characters that these people are using. It's a lot of support characters, where if we go over to Dark Dimension 3, you'll probably see a lot of Phoenix over here and stuff like that. A lot of Minerva. There's really only like 5 or 6 characters you should bring into Dark Dimension 3, and I won't spend too much time talking about those today, because again, there are people who know much more about Dark Dimension 3 than I do. But as you can see, Phoenix, Black Bolt, these really big characters that have big attacks coming out, some sustainability, but these are really just top tier characters and nothing else, The Symbiotes, they're just incredible in Dark Dimension, as you can see here. Who else do we got in here? Probably very similar teams, and then they have restricted nodes too down here, like like you have to use global characters and stuff like that, so this changes up who you're using here. And they're not even using all the slots, it's really just using Phoenix. A lot of interesting stuff here. So that gives you an idea of the difference between Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3. Dark Dimension 1, really you can pretty much use whoever you want for here. It's still going to be hard, but really you can out level Dark Dimension 1 characters. Like these aren't that powerful. You can just sort of out level this, out power level it. Dark Dimension 2, Dark Dimension 3, you got to sort of build a strategy to go into it, but I want to show you the strategy I'll be going in with for Dark Dimension 2. So the characters I've built up, there's 5 I'm going to be using, and I think it should be really easy with these characters. I hear you can auto Dark Dimension 2 if you go in with the right team. So first off, I have Hela. Hela is really good in these kind of modes because of her passive. That minion, essentially in some of these higher level campaign or Dark Dimension missions, you can get one shot. But with the Undead Asgardian, if the enemies decide to target the Undead Asgardian, it's a one-hit kill, but instead of killing an actual character, it kills the Undead Asgardian, who will then come back and slow down the enemy team. So just very helpful having that. That's a lot of just good stuff coming out from Hela right there with that passive. The rest of her skills aren't bad or anything like that, but really her passive is why you want to have Hela on the team. Very helpful character for those kind of things, and I know she is pretty heavily used in Dark Dimension 3 as well. Symbiotes, incredible. They're just great for Dark Dimension and raids. Venom is good, but I think people prefer Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage. Symbiote Spider-Man is the mandatory one because he has this healing right here. When a negative effect is applied to enemy, heal self, gains 100% drain for the symbiote team. Really, really good stuff right here. And the rest of his kit's really good too. I mean, a stun, applies slow to all targets. This one extends debuffs, and his basic attack applies defense down. Yeah, defense down. So just for 2 turns too. So, you know, just really good stuff in Symbiote Spider-Man's kit. He is, I'd say, the base character. Just use Symbiote Spider-Man no matter what. I mean, he's so good. And then Carnage. Venom's very good too. He can spread negative effects, but really Carnage is the better of the two to build up because of his passive right here. When somebody drops with 25% health, heals speed bar by 30% plus heal. So it's really good right there. That passive. His basic attacks, you know, not bad. Spread negative effects and stuff like that. You know, it's nice because that works with Symbiote Spider-Man. So just, you know, he more supports Symbiote Spider-Man. So just really, really good, that synergy between Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage. I know people do use that in Dark Dimension 3. And another thing to keep in mind, when you're building these teams, you're going to notice I try not to have a lot of characters from the same origin trait. Because, and I'm talking about biotech, skill, etc. Because people who have the same origin trait generally share similar gear. Like Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage are both bio, so they share a lot of gear, which makes it difficult to level up both of them because a lot of the gear that goes to Symbiote Spider-Man I also need for Carnage, so it makes it hard to farm out. It's nice to try to spread out the origins of your characters, so that way when you're farming, you know, no matter what you get, you can use it on a character. Like say each day you maybe only get 5 pieces of gear for each origin trait. It speeds up how fast you can go into Dark Dimension 2 if you can use that on every character each day, as opposed to having to wait twice as long because you need twice as many bio gears. As you can see with Symbiote Spider-Man Carnage, it's not too uncommon for you to have characters from the same origin trait, but it's not a bad thing to look at trying to build characters from different origin traits. As you can see with another character I'll talk about that I'm using on the team. So we have Hela, Symbiote Spider-Man Carnage. Minerva is who I'll be putting on the team. She's tech. Really what's awesome with her kit right here is the steal 15% health. Really always great to have percentage based skills because, you know, no matter how strong the enemy is, I will always be stealing 15% of their health, so that's always 15% damage each day. You know, the rest of her skills aren't bad, but really it's the ultimate right there that is super duper good, which is why I'm putting Minerva on the team. And finally, I needed just one more character to put on the team, and Thanos was convenient because A, he's a tank, B, he's Mystic, so he doesn't share the origin trait with the other characters. C, he was level 70 already, so I didn't have to invest in him. And D, he has a pretty good kit for this mode because of his passive right here. On death of an enemy, generate 2 ability energy for self or any adjacent cosmic ally, which can synergize with characters like Minerva. So just really, really good right there. Thanos is going to complete the team, I think. Some other characters I could have used: Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot. I didn't use Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon because I needed to put the tech into Minerva, and Groot is a bio character, and I already had 2 bio characters as Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage. And besides, I think characters like Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Minerva, that's sort of a more outdated team. That was the good team before the symbiotes came around. I think symbiotes are infinitely better than those characters. So if you have the option, I'd say build symbiotes over characters like Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon, because just, I mean, the passive in this is crazy. I mean, oh my goodness, Symbiote Spider-Man is crazy. So that is the team I'll be rolling into Dark Dimension 2 with. I expect to be able to auto this. I think it's gonna be pretty easy with this team because, again, I think it's a really, really, really good team with a lot of sustainability, a lot of DPS. But I hope me talking about what team I'm going to be going into Dark Dimension 2 with can help you out. You know, a lot of other characters you could use: Captain Marvel, Shuri, Magneto, you know, Nick Fury. But I think it's important to focus on 5 characters, be like, this is the 5 I want to take into Dark Dimension 2, and really make sure they are strong. And I think that is how you can be the most successful in Dark Dimension 2. So I'll probably report back once I actually get into Dark Dimension 2. You need 5 Gear Tier 13 characters to get into it, 2 of 5 complete. And so hopefully I'll be able to get into there, you know, within a week or so. But with that being said, I hope everyone can have a happy and healthy day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Sign off, everyone.